Hi, Tiffany.
Hi,
Good morning to you.
good evening.
My name is Nicolette. I am the creator for the podcast titled You're Worthless. Read that again. Juxtaposition of your very soul. First off, thank you so much for reaching out through our Podmatch platform and for agreeing to say yes for our interview today. And it's 8 a.m. at your end. So that's I appreciate people taking the time because for me, time is something that you can't get back, and it's even more precious than money. So, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Every time you look as valuable.
Gratitude. So, before I start, for every of my podcast episode, I'd like to read a bit of your introduction to our listeners today, and then we can get right into our conversation.
Awesome.
So, hey everyone, we have Tiffany Christine here with us, a holistic transformation coach dedicated to guiding individuals towards their best selves. Having shed over 50 pounds herself, she has embarked on a journey of personal growth, focusing on nurturing her mind, body, and soul. As someone who's experienced the transformative power of holistic wellness firsthand, she has made it her life's mission to help others achieve similar breakthroughs. Through personalized coaching, she empowers individuals to embark on their own journey towards health, happiness, and fulfillment. In addition to her coaching practice, she is also the proud owner of a community focused cafe. Here, she blends her passion for fitness with her commitment to building positive connections within her community. It's not just about serving up delicious, nourishing food, it's about creating a supportive environment where everyone can thrive. Wow, it's like I found my tribe sister. I love that. I love that. Can you hear my cat? Like he also wants to be in the conversation. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Mine might pop in a little bit too.
Okay. Okay. They're gonna be doing some cameo for us. So before we go right into it, Tiffany, can you share with us what was it like growing up as Tiffany Castine?
Yeah. So I grew up in a very interesting lifestyle. So I grew up in a very small town in Michigan, and I grew up on a white-tailed deer and exotic animal farm. So we had like white-tailed deer, elk, reindeer, peacocks, pheasants, like Australian parrots, like all sorts of different animals that people had never heard of before. And like when I would go to school, I wasn't necessarily the cool girl like most people were. I was like the cool girl because I was the girl that brought like weird animals to school and stuff. Or like
You're
or
the
like
eccentric one. I'd be friends with you if we're in high school together. Like really.
or like I would spend like spring break and summer break, we would be at like exotic animal auctions where since everybody else is like packing up and going to Disney World.
Right.
I went to Ohio in the middle of nowhere and hung out with Amish people at an exotic animal auction. So it was like a very different life than most people. And so like growing up, I never really felt like I like fit in and belonged anywhere. Like I always had this sense of like, okay, like I just want to be normal. I just want a life like everybody else. And like it took a lot growing up experiencing that, like just being so different. And like it it wasn't until I was like in my mid-20s that I really realized like it was okay to be different, and like you would be where you were if you didn't have that like really different kind of life.
Yeah.
My parents were divorced, and I didn't have a relationship really with my dad. But my stepdad, he moved in when I was just a few months old, and him and my mom have been great. Like they didn't really have a lot, but they did everything they could with everything that they had. Like there's no roadmap to parenting, right? Like you don't just wake up and know how to be a mom one day, and like let alone be. My stepdad was great, but he had never been a dad before meeting my mom, and my mom was great, but she had like first two kids, then in like messy marriage, and like I came like through in the midst of the divorce. So like she kind of had to figure out all sorts of life when I was growing up. So like she was working 2, 3 jobs when I was growing up, plus having the farm. My stepdad was working. Like we didn't have tons, but there was like they loved so much and like did everything they could to provide whatever they could. And they taught me a lot of really valuable lessons growing up. I'm like I didn't have all of the luxuries that so many other kids in my community had. Like when it comes to having these really awesome nights that put everything that they could out there on the line to just try, like that's something that was so special and valuable for me growing up.
That that hit my core because I could almost imagine myself in your position, like to I guess we resonate on certain levels because I don't come from how do I say this, a super well off family, middle class. And my dad has always said, the key to changing your life is education. So he did what he could to provide that. And I took that key from him and said, okay, let me find out and see where I can go with this. And I think the upbringing does play a big role in shaping the children's formidable years and how they're going to turn up in the future. And of course, us, once we get to our 20s, we want to see life through our own lens, right? And when they've been there, even though they've been through the parents, they've been through that stage of their lives, but still, it's different because it is their generation. It's different to what we will experience. So I had my fair share of mistakes myself,
Yeah.
but I learned from them. And right now, if anybody would come up to me and say, "Did you regret any of them?" Not really, because yeah, it's not a yeah. I said, because I mean, had I not gone through all of that, I wouldn't be where I am now. So,
Right.
and I'm the kind of person that says, okay, I don't like to leave it to chance. Like, if somebody says, okay, Nick, why don't we do this? And I'm like, I don't want to be the person that says 3 years down the line, 5 down the line, what happened? What could have happened if I had just taken that step, right? I mean, if I fail, then okay, so I get up again, right?
Right. You tried.
Yeah, exactly. And I knew then that okay, this is not working for me. So let's pivot. Yeah. Oh my God. We have so much to unpack. So thank you for that background of yours. Now we're gonna go into the deep stuff. You mentioned you had some struggles connecting with people growing up, right? So, do you mind elaborating on that and how it impacted your environments, your interactions, especially that in your profile you said you did work in nightclub and barbering? Yeah, barbering.
Yeah. So so my childhood growing up on this farm, like we lived far away from everything. And
Oh yeah,
so when I
naturally
did
because it's a ranch, right? Like you gotta have
yeah,
a space.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was like at least 15 minutes to get to anybody. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, we had neighbors, but they were all like other older people that are farmers and like, yeah, they weren't 5 years old hanging out with. So like in my childhood, I spent so much time, like chopping with adults. And so then when I came either adults or like my childhood best friend was a white-tailed deer. The most silly thing in the world, but we got clearance when I was a year old and like we would race to the bottle. Because he would get fed goat's milk. So like I would my mom would get it to whoever got to it first. That's how she got me walking and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so when it came to like other small people like myself, it was like I didn't know how to like play with them.
Because your bonding was with with the deer. Yeah.
With a deer
Yeah.
or with an adult.
Yeah, there's nothing, yeah, not in between, nothing in between. So yeah.
Right. And I went to daycare, but my childhood daycare was she like kind of kept all of us kids kind of separate and didn't like anytime we interacted, somebody had to go get stitches.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
So,
Was it you or both of you?
So there was like I remember at one fight there was 5 of us, and there was are you familiar with the cartoon Sesame Street? Okay.
Big
So
bird.
Big Bird. There was a Big Bird stuffed animal sitting on the floor, and we were chasing each other around the coffee table, and I
Right.
fell and I tapped my face on the table and ended up with some stitches right here. So that was one of them. She tried very hard to kind of keep all of us kids, like 1 or 2 kids in a space. It was like the babysitter almost like bubble wrapped us.
Did it work though?
No, it didn't.
Exactly. Because it's just, they're gonna be kids.
Yeah, and so then when it came around to like elementary school and like here we are in class, and I was always like, I had a teacher like build a wall around my desk because she's like, you talk too much, and I was like,
Oh,
but they
who is
talked
that
to me
teacher?
first,
Gosh,
and like
who is
that
this teacher?
thankfully she
teacher.
retired. No other children have to have the trauma of her.
Okay,
But
good.
I was always the girl that talked a lot, but I didn't know how to talk to other kids. Like I was so logical in my talking, and I learned sarcasm at a really young age too.
I love that. I speak fluent sarcasm too. This is why I feel like we have some affinity here. So let's take it offline later.
Yeah. So I like when you're a small child and you're speaking with so much logic and I was so analytical about everything, and so like I just couldn't connect with other kids. And so I'd walk around school and I would say something that like to me sarcasm is hilarious. To them,
Yes.
it was bullying and
Or
so
offensive or
so I got like told a lot that I was like talking down to people and I was just like, no, like I was supposed to be a joke, like haha.
Exactly. I mean, loosen up.
Like, I think I'm pretty funny.
Yeah. Yes, we can. We can relate.
Yeah, so it just made it so hard to connect and relate with other kids. Yeah, I'm glad somebody else has had a similar experience.
You mean me? Oh, definitely. Like, so I used to hold back a lot before until I said, you know what? I don't as long as I don't do any harm towards you, I think it's free for me to express my speech. And as long as I'm not slandering people or the government or anything. Again, like now that I have podcasts, right? And I have my podcast page, and I also put my personal page on public. So I'm like, you know what? I'm this is a way of me networking. So at first I was like, I have to be careful, Nicolette. You have to be careful because what you're portraying out there, if you are talking to people about self-worth and whatnot, and it's a varied topics, but then I still want to keep my essence, and that's me. I just love posting silly stuff on my story. So you'd see when I post my podcast, so it's a podcast. So let's say the last one was Dr. Cynthia, serious stuff like transitioning, career transition, and whatnot. And then the next post would be a story would be about relationship status. I mean, and then after that, you'll have me talking about spirituality. So I think anybody who follows me or looks at my stories, they'll be like, this girl is a bit unhinged, but you know what? I do not really care because I'm expressing myself. And yeah, like I said, if you don't harm people, if they get offended, then yeah, you can come up to me and say, I'm sorry. And then, sorry, I'm going off tangenting. And then I remember this. Tom Holland said in his interview with Jay Shetty, said, if you have a problem with me, come talk to me. But contact me through my number. But if you don't have my number, then you're not close enough for you to have a problem with me.
Yes.
Boom, mic drop.
Right. I know the exact interview that you just pulled that from. Like when he
Yes.
said that, I was just like, right there, my artist.
Preach to the choir.
And like your message is going to hit the people it's supposed to. Like, if they don't like it, the message wasn't intended for them.
Let that sink. Okay. So, all right. Next question, Tiffany. So, how did your experiences as a dancer, particularly in establishments frequented by businessmen, contribute to your personal and professional growth? Yeah.
Yeah. So, this was the first time I'm publicly speaking about this.
Shall we skip the question?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. I kind of forgot that I had put that into anything.
I can cut this later.
No, it's totally okay. So I worked at a nightclub, and it here in West Michigan, like, we don't have like strip clubs. They're actually just bikini bars.
Right.
And so, but there was always like again, like, I didn't necessarily fit in with the people that worked there. Like, I was there to make money, and I wasn't there to party and hustle. Like, it was a different kind of hustle. Like, I knew my intention, and that it was to do what I had to do to be able to take care of myself and provide for myself, and not need to ask my mom and stepdad for help, because they provided for me for 18 years. So like, it's my job to figure things out now. And so when I was working there, I really started to figure out how how my personality really can help people. Because just like how you and I are having this like fun flowing conversation, like, it was no different in the nightclub for me to have a conversation like this. I was just ready to bikini. So, and like, a lot of those people were like, here's $100, here's $200. Put your sweater on, just sit here, just talk to me, because they didn't have somebody that just talked to them and just listened to them. And so that's like part of where I really realized, like, people just want to be heard and seen and understood. And like, as much as there's like all of this like negative side of working in a nightclub like that, there was like so many of these men, when they go home, like, they'd get yelled at, and they'd get, not necessarily that I'm supportive of what they were doing behind their spouse's back, but more like they felt seen for that like 30 minutes that I sat. And it like, I didn't have to use my body like other people around me necessarily have to, because I was able to use my mind and my heart.
Ooh. Everybody, no, I am impressed. And do you know why? Because there's so much stigma attached to women working in nightclubs. And it's because some people, if they were to see anybody, their friends or whoever, the first thing that comes to mind is, why couldn't she get a job at Starbucks or something, right? But then, like I always say this, the first thing is, what is your intention? And your intention, if you come in to anything, relationship, work, passion project, or anything, business, what is your intention? If the intention's right and you focus on moving towards that intention or the goal based on that intention, to be honest, it's only you that you have to be answerable to, or God, if you believe in higher power, right? And to also echo back to what you said, being able to actually sit, because to be honest, everybody just wants to connect. We just want to feel, like you said, heard. And that is, you can go to a nightclub, you can sit at the bar, and somebody just, so there's a person that's sitting there and just say, oh, something, you just have this chemistry. You're not even looking for the highs and the, it's just somebody to sit. So why I'm saying this is because I can really picture you, on how you're positioning yourself. And I don't know, I just have this affinity towards people does something that is against norm, because I am like that too, and I would see it from their perspective. And I love it when I know my intuition is saying, see, I knew it, they're not bad people. Yeah. And wow, and you connected, and you used your gift that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of, like, there's a few of those customers from the nightclub that, they, like, I'm still in contact with them. And it's been really cool to see their lives transpire over the years. Even some of the dancers that I worked with, like, a lot of them had gotten really, like, they were heavy alcoholics, they were deep into drugs, and, like, I got into drinking pretty heavily during, like, my mid-20s. When it came to the types of drugs that these women were using to numb the pain, like, it's been really cool also to stay connected with some of these women, and they've watched my journey of, like, I'm 8 months sober from alcohol right now, and they've watched that, and they've watched my fitness journey. Now I get to watch them wean off their drugs. And it's, like, it's been maybe 10 years since working with some of them, but because I built those relationships with them and I just listened to them, they're, like, even though they are all, like, reaching out for coaching and stuff like that, like, they've watched my journey and it's inspiring them to do better things too. And same with some of these men, like, some of them have watched my journey and it's inspired them to do better things with their life. And so it's been really cool to watch how those relationships, it didn't have to be what that stigma version was.
Yes. Yes.
I just so happened to be in that place for those people and met them where they were at. So, like, yeah, some of them might have been using her and some of them might have been drinking, but I never, um, I never really projected that onto them. It was, I still love you. I'm just not interested.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
love you as a human being, right?
yeah,
We're here on this earth
right,
together. Yeah.
right. Like, we're both doing this job, and, like, if that's how you need to cope with it, you do you.
No
I'm over.
judgments. Yeah. Yeah.
And I wish more people just dropped that judgment, yes. Because they're, like you were saying, like, at the end of the day, like, you were trying to do good and, like, not hurt people. Like, I'm just trying to do my thing. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. And Like, if you're judging it, that's your projections of what you think my box should look like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that's
Mm-hmm.
not my story. That's your
Yes.
story you wrote for me.
Yes. Yes. And you focus on your own lane.
Yeah.
Carry on. Beautiful. So, Tiffany, opening your own suite was a significant milestone. What were some of the challenges you faced as a business owner and how did you overcome them?
Ooh, being a business owner is hard.
Oh,
It is
okay.
so
Buckle up,
hard.
Nicolette.
Yeah, it's like everybody thinks that it's like I just walk in, I do what I want, I leave, and like I can go like on
I get
these
my
lavish
paycheck, my
weekends
profit
and
from the business.
right, like all of this money is gonna be raking in all of the time, and like no. First of all, the government's gonna take a lot of that money. They
What's the
don't teach
percent?
this.
What's the percentage like a
Um,
ballpark figure? Depending on your revenue, right? But then
yeah, so it depends on your revenue, and then it also like it depends on if you're like an S corp, an LLC, like the way
right,
that you categorize your business with the government, how much money comes in, but then also like for example, like my suite was a tax deduction. My like cell phone, because I was using it to contact people like my clients,
customers or yeah,
that was I was able to write off my internet because I was like doing social media promotion stuff. So like then you write all of this stuff off, and it say you made 40,000, but you just wrote off 36,000, and now the government's like, wait, how did you only make 4,000 last year?
wow. So it's wrong to
So
write off the things that's deductible, and then when the amount is there, and then you get questioned again,
yes,
is it only this
so
much? Okay.
right, so there's so many layers to it, and like because you don't want like you want to write off stuff because you don't want the government to take everything, right? But then, like, say you want to buy a house or a car, but you have to show that you made money. So
So
it's
it's
like,
a chicken and egg thing. It's a catch 22.
yeah, and
Gosh.
nobody, like, they don't teach this in school at all. They, like, there's this just big projector of, like, entrepreneurs can go do whatever the heck they want. And, like, it's this fun, lavish lifestyle. And it's like, it is a lot of work. Like, you are your own secretary until you're able to hire somebody to work for you. Like,
Mm.
you are the one that's doing the payroll, the inventory. You're the one that's booking all of the appointments. If there's no clients, you gotta go out and find those clients or you're not getting paid.
Exactly.
And so it I had been working in a barber shop where like they made big TV promotion all of the time and big like radio promotion and stuff. So people were coming in and I built these relationships and I built a client base there. But now here I am moving 7 miles across town because there's also rules on like how close you can be to where you worked if you're gonna take clients with you.
Oh,
Oh, that's all the
there's a rule like this?
yeah, so the shop that I was most recently at, they didn't have it's called a no compete. So thankfully they didn't have one, but I still wanted to be kind of respectful in a sense. So I had moved 6.5, 7 miles across town, but I took all of the phone numbers of everybody that sat in my chair for months. Yeah. So here I am, like, texting them all, like, okay, like, if you don't want to come see me, that's okay, but this is where I'm at. This is how you find me, like, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah. And just putting it out there. And, like, it's complete strangers will typically support you before your own friends and family do. So that was a really big lesson in becoming self-employed was, like, I I mean, I love my mom, she wanted the best for me, but I remember she literally sat there and she goes, "The grass isn't always greener, Tiffany. Are you sure about this?" And I said it multiple times and eventually she's like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go get some meat, but I don't know about this. And so, like, I'm so lucky that I had that support, but some of the other people that were in the suites, like, they didn't have that family support. They didn't have somebody that was like, yeah, you're on your own now. Like, let's do this. Let's make this big. Like, my mom ended up business cards all over the place. But then when it came to some other really important people in my life, it was like, hey, where are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so it's like, and you can Google a lot of things, but when it comes to ownership, like, there's only so much you can Google on something that you've created from the ground up.
Everybody just let that sink in for those listening through audio. This is a deliberate pause. Yes. I foresee that happening for me, but I have complete trust, though at times I feel like, what if, the what ifs come in, and it's okay. Just take one step at a time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And do you want to wake up 40 years from now asking yourself, what if I would have quit this to do this? And like with what you're transitioning through in like your career, I mean, what if you stayed at that 9 to 5? You might have had maybe more financial stability for a period, but what if your business that you're growing for yourself and creating for yourself, you're like one client away from like your next big break, and all of a sudden like your whole entire world just shifts.
Again, guys, let that sink in. This is why I do what I do, and I want to show people that it's okay to take that first step, and it's okay to ask for help if you don't know where to start, but you know that you feel stuck. You know that you need to make changes, but you just don't know where to start. So you're not alone. I guess oftentimes people, when they are faced with this type of I don't know, them feeling in a rut, and they said, why nobody understands me, and it feels like it's me against the world. But you're not. You just, again, why people are not talking is because they're scared of judgment, and because they've always done certain things the same way. And if they were to change or do some, major shift, radical move, it'll be like, what is Nicolette doing? Is she out of her mind? Yeah, but to be honest, I've said this to another guest before. Is oftentimes their insecurities projecting onto us because most likely they don't have the guts to do it.
Exactly. Right there. Let that one sink in.
Okay, people be like, they're probably unfollowing me after day. That it's not intended for them, right?
It's
The
not.
right ones will come. Yeah. Oh, I love this. So, Tiffany, you've spoken about struggling with loneliness and depression, particularly during your relationship. So, how did you break free from that and embark on a journey of personal transformation?
Yes. So, so I was in a relationship for like 6 years, and when we at first started, we were both drinking a lot. And like that was what we did together. Like we went to the bar and had Sunday brunch. We went to happy hour, like all of these things. And I just hit a point where I was done being sad and depressed. And I was like, if like he's not my white horse, he's not supposed, like it's not his responsibility to save
To
me.
save you.
Because I feel like I had put so much pressure on, like, I wanted him to save me. I wanted him to be the one to tell me that, like, I was going too far down the rabbit hole to reel it back
Pull
in.
me out of this.
pull me out of this complete nightmare that I'm in. And it wasn't his responsibility to do that. I had to make the decision to do that for myself. And our relationship, in the long run, ended up being some collateral damage of that for the best. Because we're both I'd like to say that we're both in places where we're both thriving and doing so much better for ourselves, because we had created this like toxicity where like, you want to drink?
Trauma bonding. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's.
we were trauma bonding so much. And so I had made the decision one day, like, enough's enough. I'm sick of feeling overweight and depressed, and like, I was having a lot of suicidal type thoughts, and like, did not want to be alive anymore. Like, I knew I had a purpose, and when the spark was lit, like, the spark was lit. But the spark wasn't lighting as much as I knew it could be. So I had gotten a membership in a gym, and I was like, let's start here. Like, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm saying all these bad things about myself. You're fat, you're ugly, you're this, you're like, I had nothing good to say about myself. I was using this app called Facetune to like get rid of my wrinkles and blemishes. So that
It's like a filter.
Yeah, it was like a filter, kind of like a Photoshop. But I was using that to distract people from seeing pictures of what my body had looked like. Because I'd always had this relationship with my body that stemmed back forever. Like, I had always been like lean and active and all this, and like, I wasn't. I was not remotely lean and active. And so I got a gym membership, started going, and it's interesting when you get a gym membership, it's like your phone just knows that you're going through some stuff and you need some help, and it just starts like ads for personal development coaches pop up everywhere. All of a sudden, my Facebook went from like me checking in at the gym for the first time to like, hey, it looks like you would like to listen to Tony Robbins' podcast. And I went down the rabbit of Tony Robbins' past. Everything was like, pull your head out of your butt, stop sucking, all of that type of stuff. And then ended up in Trent Sheldon podcasts.
Hey, check that out.
So he was a football player that I don't want to slaughter his story, but there was some kind of an injury, and he basically was told like, sorry,
You can't play anymore.
Yeah, and so he has all of these like little one-liners that are great. And like, my favorite shirt one of my friends got for me from him, it's broken crayons still color. So it's like remembering like when you're broken, like it doesn't mean that you don't work anymore. Like you just worked differently. And so I had gone down this rabbit hole, and over time ended up really like realizing like sitting in a bar all day every day is not for me. When I go to the gym and all of those endorphins are moving around, like, that's when I'm happy. I leave the gym energetic and excited. I leave the bar like depressed, sad, and drained and tired. Like, I don't want to do anything after the bar. Like, I would leave the bar at like 1 p.m. Who leaves the bar drunk at 1 p.m.?
And what time would you start going to the bar? Like, what time would you start drinking?
I mean, it depended. There was days, like, there's a bar near us, but it opened at 8 a.m. And then, I know. And so, because it's on the street called the Medical Mile, so it's like all of the hospitals are
how ironic.
Super ironic. So all of the hospitals are there, and all of the doctors and nurses, after they're done working, they go to this bar because it's only like a half a mile away from the hospital. So, like, here I am on a Saturday, Sunday, drinking with doctors and nurses at 8 a.m., forgetting kind of that this is their 5 p.m. This is happy hour for them. But like, I just woke up. This is breakfast. And then leaving the bar drunk at 1 p.m., like, can't feel my face. And I have to take a nap. My laundry's not going to get done. I'm not going to go grocery shopping. I had to decide enough is enough. And the only person that could make that decision was me. But I couldn't ask my white horse to come save.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Gonna talk to you. Yeah. How, wow, this whole episode is gonna be an episode of sinking it all in. Tiffany, as someone who has successfully achieved significant weight loss, what advice would you offer to others who are struggling to start or maintain their own weight loss journey?
Just start. Like, just start. Take pictures, trust the process, and enjoy the process. Fitness doesn't have, like, not everybody's journey is linear. You can lift weights and go jogging, but you can also, like, if you like to dance, you can lose weight dancing. You can lose weight going for walks. You have mobility issues, just raise your legs here and there. There's not everybody's fitness journey is linear, so you just start and push yourself. There's this book that I read. It's called Atomic Habits.
Ooh.
And yes,
That one.
yes, it's such a good book. And I, like, with any of my clients that are really struggling to, like, if in their head they're saying, like, I don't have time, it's not that you don't have time, it's you haven't necessarily made it a priority. But with Atomic Habits, it teaches the method of start with 1 minute a day. Anybody can do 1 minute of something. And then the next day, try to do 2 minutes. The next day, try to do 3. And what happens over time, all of that compounds, and magically you just find yourself, like, 3 days in, you got 20 minutes of your day free because you got so excited and you felt so good after that 1 or 2 minutes. You just want to keep going. But take pictures. And, like, I can't emphasize enough to take pictures because, like, I think I'd seen, like, you had liked my post on my recent transformation that I put up yesterday. I literally, when I made that, I was sitting here almost sobbing because I have the picture from when I very first started to today. And it was like, there's so much. You have to remember to be proud of yourself through the process. And, like, when I had made that reel, I was like, holy cow, like, I have so much to be proud of because this picture, so much happened along the way. Like, it wasn't just a straight line of, like, you just lost all this weight. Like, I minded this. Like, you
come back and then okay, back again.
Yeah, and, like, so take pictures, enjoy the process, and just start. Start somewhere.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, what role does self-care play in your weight loss journey? And how do you prioritize your physical and mental health along the way?
Yes, I love this one. Self-care is so important. If you're not prioritizing yourself, your body releases these hormones called cortisol. And that stress hormone will make it affects your entire body. It'll affect your digestion. It affects your sleep. It affects your period. Yeah, your period, which is huge. We're in this crazy, like, thyroid health and hormone health. Like, I would almost call it a pandemic right now, where all of these women have these, like, thyroid issues. And, like, if you really take a look back, a lot of them, it's deregulated cortisol. Like, their body has been stressed for so long that it doesn't know how to function properly. And so your going to have these panels and your body's going to attack your everything. It's going to attack your period, your metabolism, your gut,
Your face.
your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell when I'm really stressed because I start to break out.
Oh my God, me too. Yes.
And
Yes.
I
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
I'm not going to the bathroom the same when I'm stressed. And so read a book, go for a walk, like take a bath. Like these are things that I do quite regularly. If I notice that I'm going through these stressful phases, maybe I don't have an hour to lay in the bathtub, but I can leave my phone at the house and go for a 5-minute walk around the block and just like enjoy nature and take some deep breaths. Because at the end of the day, like it goes back to that whole white horse, nobody's gonna save you thing. Like you have to save yourself. And like nobody else is gonna prioritize you the way that and you can't expect other people to prioritize you if you don't prioritize yourself first. And you can't be pouring from an empty cup all of the time. Like when you're not taking care of yourself, that's when you're gonna get these mood swings and you're not gonna be fun. Like nobody's gonna want to be around you because you're not taking care of yourself and you're projecting that negative energy out to everybody else.
I cannot say that actually that is everything, because if you're not taking care of yourself, you're grumpy. When you're grumpy, relationships are going to be affected, and that's where people are not going to be that nice towards you because you're not nice to them, and then you think that why is my life like this? So that's why we say it all starts with you.
It does.
Yeah. So Tiffany, what is next for you?
Ooh. So I there's so much. There's so much that
I'm
I want to do.
excited. Okay.
There's so much that I want to do. So we didn't touch on this, but we did a little bit, but I have my healthy cafe.
Oh
And
yes, yes, yes. Did I?
it's okay. It's okay.
No,
So I'm gonna
no.
touch on it real quick because this
Yes,
is part of
please.
what next. I had mentioned in my bio like how community focused it is. So we're getting ready to start some cardio drumming classes. Yeah. So it's like an 18-gallon bucket and a 75 centimeter exercise ball and some drumsticks, and like dance and have fun. But I envision by the end of summer having over 200 people there. That's a huge vision for me. It's gonna take some work, but we're gonna get it up to 200. Like
Well,
I want this community thing so bad. But I'm also doing online coaching, and eventually I would like to shift to where like I'm not behind my cafe bar all of the time. I'm spending more time like teaching these fun workout classes, but then I'm also creating an online community within my clients that people like, I mean, we're in Asia. Like I want people
please.
like I
Can
want
we collaborate or something?
yeah. But like I want these clients from all over the world to um be on their own fitness journeys together and connecting together. To be able to be like, hey, Nick, like I'm coming overseas, like can we hang out, let's meet up. And like I want to create this like worldwide bond between so many people. And it's something that I'm already working on a little bit. And I've been in this awesome mentor program where like we're all working together so hard a lot of us are fitness coaches, but not all. There's some construction people. There's like we have an aerial fitness coach. So she does like the silts and stuff. All of us are just networking around the world and creating our community. but then like intermingling it and interweaving it, which has been really cool. Like one of them's a professional wakeboarder, and he teaches professional wakeboarding, and like we're connecting and intermingling our clients, and ultimately, like I envision transforming a million lives.
I want
Like,
in. How do I register? I want to start that movement here in Malaysia. Damn.
you
Yes,
can.
that is something that I envision myself too. Like I want to go to right now. I want to talk to as many people as I can from the US and then have it replicated here in Asia. And because of technology, I do not need to be there physically, but yeah, it's good for networking as well and for them to see that oh somebody's doing it outside
Yeah,
of Asia. I'm sure there's somebody, but not in nobody has like at least not that I have seen it articulated the same way because I have the same vision. Like I want to be impacting millions of people, and I know I can't do it by myself.
right.
It has to be yeah.
It's so many of us to be able to do it when we all lock arms and like,
Yes.
yes, the fitness community is big. There's lots of coaches, but there's also a lot of people out there that aren't in shape, that don't have great mental health, that don't have somebody that they're already talking to for personal development. Like
Exactly.
and like there's what 8 billion people on this world, isn't that right? So
Mm-hmm.
when you think about it, like there's probably only maybe 5% of those people that are working with somebody to help them live their
Yeah.
best life. When we all work together instead of being at competition against each other, we can really make big moves. And like, I just want to see this, the entire world, like not just Michigan, not just the US, but the whole world literally be a happier and healthier place.
Mhm. Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
so yeah, so there's just a lot in the works, and this, like I'm 5 years in, but this journey is also still just starting, and it's
Oh,
evolving every
you've been coaching for about 5 years now. Wow.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
need to. I need. Yeah. I definitely need to. Have a conversation with you offline.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Wow. Okay. So I know my next question is actually, what is your heart's greatest wish? But I think you answered that. Would you want to give another answer?
No, I really think I did answer it. Like I really want to make a big impact on the world and see people have their lives changed, and like even if it's not directly from me, like I still want this legacy of changing lives and impacting the world.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. And I want in. Part of the reason why I started therapy is because and coaching because I want them to know that they can turn their lives around and they're not alone. Movements like this is the very reason why they they should know that they're not alone. And like you said, about what not even 5%, 1% maybe, or 0.1% people have coaches or mentors like walking with them through their journey. There will be people who wants, like I said, who wants to make the change, but then they're scared or shy. They're gonna be judged. So they can probably ask, hey, I saw this. What you think of this? Just yeah, and then slowly, because not everybody is like us. We're just out there like we just don't care. We do care, but I guess we're more bold in a way. And yeah,
That's the
and
exact word I was gonna put on it. Yeah. When you said bold, I was like, bold.
shit,
Right.
it was telepathic.
Yeah, it's like, and it doesn't mean that, because I'm sure you've been afraid of judgment at some points in life too, or
Of
like done
course,
something and been like, oh my God, what if I just done, like everybody's gonna judge me for this, and then it's
of
just like,
course.
I gotta do it. I gotta do
Mm-hmm.
it for me.
Mm-hmm. I gotta do it for me.
What if?
Yes, yes. And there's only one me.
What if I stayed at that job But what if I left it and something greater came?
And I soar. Do you have a mantra that you live by, Tiffany?
Kind of a lot of mantras, but every day is the best day ever. Is kind of because it is like you can't get tomorrow back. You're not, or you can't get yesterday back, and you're not guaranteed tomorrow. So
Today's a gift.
yeah,
I can tell you've really, really did work. You did your work. You did your shadow work, because I can resonate so much. It's like so much. I want to like go deep here right now, but okay, let's keep it light for our listeners. We've done our work. Like a fellow people did, they can tell like you've done your shadow work and whatnot, right?
right. And it's never done. Like,
Exactly.
it won't be finished.
Until you're 6 feet underground. I mean,
Yeah.
because we're all souls with human bodies.
Yeah.
So is there anything that keeps you up at night, or do you sleep well?
Oh, I do not sleep very much.
Really?
Yeah,
Why is that? Because of your excitement.
Yeah, I'm so excited to do stuff and like make all of these changes that I lay in bed at night and I have an app that plays like sleep sounds for me, and I have to like take some deep breaths and be like, nope, Tiffany, like shut off your brain, shut it off. Like you can't think about this right now, because I'll catch myself laying in bed and being like, what if I did this for my clients, or what if I created that, or like, and I have like set like I almost feel like in Law and Order when they walk up to the board and they have like all of these
all the web.
all of the webs, like that's me creating all of these webs of sticky notes of like, okay, then I could do this and this and this and this and this, and I'm just throwing all of these things on the wall and then like creating all of these webs of things that I want to do. And it's like sometimes I gotta reel it back in and be like, you're one human. There's not enough hours for that. So like you gotta start here and duplicate and teach somebody else how to do this, so that way you can build off from that. And like
Systemize it. Yeah.
Yeah, and those are the things that keep me up, and I just have so much excitement for creating and something just
From
so
scratch.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are all creators. And to live that as your passion here in this lifetime means you are answering your calling. I do want to ask though, do you have a team, or is it all you? Because it looks like you're doing a 1 million things.
So, a lot of it is me, but when it comes to Life Night Cafe, I have a team of some amazing women that they were regulars, and they've stepped up and they've been so magical. I came into the new year mostly just figuring things out on my own, and I was like, I had to just kind of surrender and learn how to give up control and teach other people how to do stuff. And it's so hard when you have so much ownership of something. Like, you want every little thing to be perfect, and I had to say, like, it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. They are doing a great job at this. And so at the cafe, I have this amazing team. With my coaching business right now, it's myself, but I do have my mentoring crew, JWX. They're all like, I have this whole group of people that's behind me that I can't delegate jobs to them, but I can come to them and ask for help or other perspectives, and they've been so great and helpful. And if it worked for them, I don't think I could have let up that control piece for the cafe to be able to have these girls taking their ownership. The cafe is my baby. I just want to see it thrive, but it's writing so much more now than I've had the team that's there, which is so cool. Because like
Can you imagine?
yeah, I was putting a cap on it by micromanaging.
By putting your your control over by hovering like how things should be done.
Yeah. So right now I have a team of 3 in my cafe, and then the leadership crew at JWX is 11, but I really have this community of like 250 coaches behind me that like we're all out there to support each other. And although they don't work for me, like I have to call them my team. Like I owe them for all that they've done for me.
Last question, Tiffany. If you could create a quote right now for you to leave to the audience listening and the world as your legacy, what would it be?
Ooh. You've got to prepare people for this.
And this is exactly why I don't send questions before my interview. People, my guests have said, "Oh my God, Nicolette, you put on the spotlight here." I mean, I didn't mean to.
I would say believe and love yourself the way that you believe and love your best friend.
Because you are your own best friend.
Yes. Yes. You're never going to tell your best friend that she's going to fail at something. You're never going to tell her that she's not funny, that she's not smart, that she's not capable.
So why would you tell that to yourself? It's an episode of sinking it all in. Tiffany, you have been wonderful, magnificent, extraordinary. And your story is just so inspirational, and I can relate to each one of them on so many levels. And I'm sure our listeners, which when this airs, I hope you can tag.
Yes, of course.
Yes, and it's gonna accelerate that 1 million, even 2 million. I don't know, heck, 100 million. What the heck?
Yeah.
Right?
Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it. You in the US, me in Asia, and then some other people who's gonna listen to this. Who knows, right? It's gonna change. Start changing just from yourself, and then people next to you, and then let it snowball from there.
A ripple.
Yes, a ripple. Thank you so much, Tiffany, for your time.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on this.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you and the work you're doing. You're doing so great. Okay. So we are connected. Definitely, this is not our last rodeo. It's technology that we have to thank right now. Sooner or later, I have a feeling that we're gonna meet face to face. I don't know when, but yes, I have a feeling.
You're stuck with me now.
Gladly. I can gladly say I have friends. Where? Which part of the U.S.? Oh, everywhere. Which one? L.A. Yes. New York. Yes. Michigan. Of course. She's a holistic transformational coach, and she has a cafe, which I love. I love to go. I love checking out cafes in my neighborhood. I'm in KL. So, wow, Tiffany, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Have a great day and a great life ahead.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
Thank you. You take care, okay?
You.
Bye-bye.